It's been quite a while. It's been since like 2011 that I've been recording videos on YouTube. I think that's really funny because I was hearing about this, basically this situation where history repeats itself in 8-year cycles, kind of like every 7 years, all the cells in your body regenerate. So every 8 years, you completing a cycle. 8, infinity. It's probably not every 7 years your cells regenerate. It's probably a complete 7 years. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 7 to 8, and then probably on the 8. That's when you probably can't find traces of the cells from the day before, negative, whatever, right before 7. The thing I don't understand about speaking on YouTube is what you would do about like tagging stuff. So I'm not going to really tag anything. I'm just going to upload these videos. Try to do one every single day. And that way, it's just a whole plethora of videos. One thing that I was hearing about from Dolo, the pilot man, who is a super inspiration and really kind of, he taps into some of the like he finds a way to get underneath everything and not stop like short anywhere. Just like he just will keep going underneath and underneath everything. My opinion is that there's 12 different aspects of nature. I just choose 12 because I assume it's a number between 1 and 100, and I like that number, so I'm going to choose that number. That's my chosen life path that I've decided, and it's a mirror reflection somehow of my personal spiritual journey, I guess would be what that number would mean. I'm really bothered by the light. I'm going to have to move over. Maybe this is messing it up. I don't know. I don't think it is. But the moral is, spirituality is not supposed to connect like blocks of ice. Spirituality is supposed to exist like molecules of water. So by freezing consciousness in images, in not these types of videos, because this is just coming out of me from the morning. It's like a morning, it's one of those things, I'm perceiving myself, I'm feeling my different thoughts and emotions, and I'm communicating them. I'm not taking from outside and putting it into me and then just describing that. But that's what a lot of people are doing, particularly older people. Older than me. I'm going to be 30 in a month, so older than 30. The younger people, it seems, are using the tools of tech. Sorry, I just woke up. Using the tools of technology to enhance direct communication with their buddies, so they can send videos, so that they can use body language and eye contact and these types of things. Whereas old people are communicating through what Trump will call fake news. But fake news is another freezing of idea. It's a freezing of an idea, so that when the president says something like that and can freeze it like that, that's what you go back to. You don't expand on it, or you do, but you just don't get very far because there's no need, because whatever you're communicating, you have to set up the whole backstory. Whereas if there was no freezing of it, there would be no backstory. It would just always be backstory. It would always be a communication. People don't want to communicate. They just want to talk about what already exists. They don't want to communicate what's inside of them. They want to, as fast as possible, match it up with what's on the outside and then explain it that way, because it's easier and it's instant gratification feeling. Hi, Moose. Moose is a K-cat. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? So Moose has all the answers. He's got every answer. So what fake news really is just like yellow journalism, or like muckraking or something like that. Like, we already had all these words, so there's no reason to redefine it. The only reason to redefine it is to elevate it and capture it in that area, so that there's no expansion or decretion or whatever. It's just permanent, like a photograph. So that instead of referring to a flexible idea, you're referring to a sculpture, or you're referring to a captured thing, like a very specifically. You're referring to an object, a material object. You're not referring to spiritual anything. So, I guess it's like a monument. It's like the idea of a monument, like a gravestone. It's death. And I think that's, I think part of the reason why YouTube is becoming so popular for speakers is because of how the context is unprecedented, where people can virtualize an audience whenever they want to. I'm not speaking to anybody, but I'm virtualizing an audience, so it helps with my communication. That's what a kid would do, what a Zer, Gen Zer would do. Someone who's like 16 and under right now, because they were born into technology. It's not a surprise for them. So all they know is what's human. So they just go straight human. That's it. They don't play around with all that other shit, because they don't know about it. They don't know about that difference between the two. They don't know how to close any gap. There is no gap. That's why it's important to understand that everything is based in context, and that's why I'm sitting at a piano. I think the piano is very important. Sorry for turning it this way, but the lighting is better. So if you take a D, it sounds really nice, and that's a D. Like, we all know that's a D. But there's no reason to monumentize the D. There's no reason to capture the D like that. So if your song is just that, and you make it a song, then there you go. Now you make it a song. That's okay. That's a creative aspect. But right now it's just a part. It's a piece of part. It's just an ingredient. Now you add something else to it. The piano's a little bit out of tune because it's outside. So that's a fifth. It's an A. So it still can go either way right now. So you got 3 points now, so now you got a straight line. And that's a D major chord. So, you don't have to understand music theory at this point. That's not important to the whole thing, but I sit behind the piano because this is where I learned, or was able to internalize the things that I was hearing for such a long time, but not able to, feel it. So, as a person, my personality is I have to feel it, get there, and understand it that way. I can't be given the information because I don't trust any source of information, even my internal source. I only trust after I've gone through the process. So it took me lots of time playing around on the piano to kind of gather these bits and pieces, and then also simultaneously looking at spirituality, and then realizing the mirror, obviously, it's very obvious, the spirituality mirror between music and astrology and everything. You got 12 points, 12 notes, 12 houses, and the circle of fifths, and well, anything. It's just like, it's the same because it's the same, because vibrations just can only function in one way, because we're in a sandbox that only functions one way. But we have the rules and laws of physics, which I like to say has 12 different aspects. But it probably has more or less, or it's an infinite, but I'm using 12 again because that's my chosen. December 12th birthday, born right before noon. But I think that's part of it, because I'm not going to be a resolved chord. Hold on. If that's noon, I was born at this time. So here's noon. It's like we really want to get to noon. So I really want to get to 12. So that's why 11:53, 7 bits away. Always looking for that resolution. It's attention. It's thrive in tension. So you guys should try to find your own. Just try to find your own bit. Try to find your own tension. Where's your tension at? I don't want to end it because I feel like I didn't really talk about context aspect. But I think that's a good intro. My name's Justin. You can call me FTP 12. Fuck the police. FUJL. Fuck unjust laws. FTP 1212. Take back 12. Doesn't have to mean what it means. It means contextually. So fuck the police 12. It's just saying police. Fuck the police. Really, really fuck them. And the CIA too. I think it's really important to, for me now, include the CIA, because it seems to me as the CIA is the dark subconscious of capitalism, and it's the super police. It's the subconscious police, and if the police are your toes and fingers, the CIA is the spinal cord or whatever, the neural pathways. And there's a lot I've been understanding about that I want to share. But let's see if we can get some people listening. If anybody watches this video, especially to the end, and has comments, and especially any tips on how I should title these videos so that they can be found in searches. I don't really care about that stuff, so I pretty much consume, and I try to find out I use very specific search queries to try to find very specific videos, which I can't because of the YouTube algorithm, which I don't think is very directed. I think that it's I think not only is it in flux, but I think it's just poorly put together, and I don't think that it's got some dark underscore. I think it's just some bullshit that they couldn't keep up with, and they've actually fucked it up because it's too specific. It's like Spotify, it's very specific. It's not good AI. The algorithm is not good for YouTube. It just shows you bullshit. It's like if I'm watching stuff about music all day, so they're showing me like plugins and ads, and I like Google Bernie Sanders once. Now they're showing me Bernie Sanders ads, which I respect because I like that attack, Bernie's attack. I like that. I think that's clever, but that doesn't mean shit, So it's just like a baby could come up with this algorithm. It's like, oh, I googled home improvement, now show me advertisements for paint. Like, that's not subtle. That's not anything. That's like, there's 50s market research, 1950s market research. So I can't find shit. But what I think they're going to actually do, which is what Dolo clued me into, is that they're going to delete old accounts, which they did on Instagram. So and it makes sense for them to do that because of the server space. However, if you're like me, you've tried to find some older YouTube videos before. You can, if you're someone like me and you can hear people talking and trace back to what's going on here, where it's coming out here, you can go back and watch older videos and get clued into how life was like back in 2011, back in 2008. using your own personal context of me as like a 21-year-old and this ability to kind of follow inflections and things like that, you can really learn a lot from watching older videos. So I don't know if there's, what my thought is that they're going to try to clear a lot of those really older videos out because they already can't search. You already can't sort by oldest to newest. It seems that they don't want you to find the original YouTube videos because they can't find them. I think they're lost. So the best way that they can get rid of them is just by clearing them out. They can't pick and choose, but they know that if someone's clever enough, they could pick and choose and then kind of be clued into something that is not okay with people in charge of that. Some, like, not secret knowledge or anything, just lost ideas, pre-fake news, like different ways to call that, just different discourses that they don't want. Because like if they can control a conversation, it's like they can control your motivation. And as someone who is so, and you can think about your most stubborn, what's not selfish, your most stubborn maverick of a friend that's a lone wolf, that's always just like nice and stubborn, you know, that's just like, I'm good, I just go off on my own, figure it out, come back, you know. Even those people, because they're in here and maybe they trust themselves, or they don't trust anything, but they trust the rhythms around them. The rhythms are manufactured now. They're quantized. All the rhythms around are quantized. Yeah, all the rhythms around us are quantized. That's the title of this video. FTP 1212, fuck the police, fuck the CIA, fuck all unjust laws as humans. And that's how it is. Find your life path. Pick your own life path number. Don't do some calculator. Do a calculator so you can guide yourself, but you know, see through everything. Get to the bottom of everything. Know that things can swing. You know, like, it's too low, but that's D, but then if you invert it, you know, it's a whole different thing. So and then if you just add something else, it just changes. Like, everything's always in motion, like water. Not like bags of ice, like water. Don't think of bags of ice, think of water, you know. How could there be laws in water? The only law is that gravity. Water finds its connection based on its predetermined laws. But after that, there's complete flexibility. If you give water consciousness, you have complete flexibility. So that's it. Fuck the police, fuck the CIA.